before we actually go into the software, I'd like to just do a quick overview of the BEE Chamber, what we are, who we support, and the kind of offerings that we have. Okay, so many of you might have had already a quick overview of the BEE Chamber and the kind of offerings and who we are as an organization. Just for those of you that may have not had one, I'd like to actually share with you what is it we do. So we are a membership-based organization. The BEE Chamber is a membership-based organization, and we exist purely to support BEE practitioners and professionals like yourself that are procurement managers, transformation managers, BEE experts, enterprise supply development managers, and so forth. So basically anybody doing transformation in a business environment, in a corporate space. The Chamber does not exist to support consultants or verification agencies. And what we actually do is we ensure that our members are always kept in a protected environment and an environment, and we create an environment that is safe for you. So quite briefly over the offerings, our semicircle of offerings are broken up into 4 quadrants. We start off with the associate membership. And the associate membership basically is where we offer you basic information videos that give you the basics about BEE, how do certain elements work. And associate membership is actually free for corporate South Africa and members in South Africa that are practicing in the BEE space. So we've got, as the Chamber, about 5,500 members at this point in time. So the Chamber is basically growing in its capacity and in its membership. On the associate membership, we've also got a BEE guide. So the BEE guide basically gives you a very quick overview of the intention of the codes, the understanding of the codes, and the act itself. We've got somebody that wakes up at 4 a.m. in our office and scores the internet for daily news. So we only bring you BEE-related information and BEE-related news that is actually pushed across through either the mobile app or through our website, as well as on email through to you. So associate members and all of our members have access to our mobile app, which I'll take you through shortly. You are able to download it. Our mobile app is actually available on the Google Play Store. For Android users and for iPhone users, you can actually get it off the App Store. So this is basically our BEE Chamber app. We've got videos here, and they are free videos for associate members. We've got an offering called the BEE Body of Knowledge. The BBOK is what we call it. It's pretty much like the project management body of knowledge. So it contains everything you need to know in terms of BEE from a sector codes perspective, the act perspective, to the DTI codes. So you don't have to, you can get rid of all those PDF printed documents you've got, and you can actually have BEE knowledge at your fingertips, at your own time, at your own pace, and at your own place. So when somebody asks you a question, you just pull out your phone and you go, hold on, let me check that. And you're able to make business decisions very quickly. So coming back to the BEE Chamber offerings, the next kind of membership that we have is affiliate membership. It's only available, though, if you're a practitioner member or a professional member. It's not a standalone membership. So how the semicircle works is the membership goes from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. So when you're a practitioner member, you get all of the benefits of an affiliate member as well as an associate member. So the community forums that we have, you're able to get input from other members, and you're able to share challenges and successes. But in doing so, you're able to also have an understanding and a perspective of best practices that are happening in corporates around BEE and transformation. So it opens up your mind to different possibilities, different thinking options, and you're able to bring that into your business. I've talked about the BBOK. We've also got the video library, basically with latest essential information that you need from a BEE perspective. So just to give you an idea quickly, so let's just say the codes are actually changed and they're gazetted today. So within 24 hours, we give you a summary of the changes. We put it across to you in a PowerPoint document, a very short summary. I appreciate and we understand that you guys are very busy people, and you don't have the time to actually go through like 20 and 40-page documents. So what we do is, very quickly, to give you an understanding, we give you the gist of what the Act is saying or the changes are actually that are being implemented. give you a very quick summary and an overview of it in a PowerPoint presentation. So it enables you to actually give a quick feedback session to your business and understand what the impact is going to be on your business. But within that week, we also put out, we'll do a video, and the video will be on the video library here with the summary of the changes. And within the 2 weeks of the changes actually being gazetted or the amendments being published, we actually do a webinar. So what happens in the webinar is that you get an understanding of what the changes are, what the impact's going to be on your organization, the potential risks. But in the webinar, it's quite an interactive one. So you're able to be exposed to the thinking of our other members. So things that you might not have thought about now become something that you would need to consider. So throughout this journey, the BEE Chamber partners with you as your strategic thinking partner as well. So you don't have to actually, unless you need capacity, you don't have to go and get a consultant in to be able to do it for you. You're able to self-serve yourself, provided that you've got capacity internally to be able to do this. So our role as a chamber is to make you an effective practitioner. So in order to be an effective practitioner, we also provide you with telephonic support and telephonic advice. So you're able to be confident in applying the latest policy and interpretations of the code. And when you're creating strategy, you're able to actually double check, get input from us in terms of the strategy, the impact on your business, and also use us again, like I said, as a strategic thinking partner, a sounding board for the strategy you're implementing. It takes you a lot of time to develop policies and processes and agreements. For those of you that are in procurement that are on the call, enterprise supply development agreements, preferential procurement policies. So we've got templates and toolkits on the website. You're able to pull them down, customize them for your business, and implement. For those of you that have been trying to get agreements done in your business, you would appreciate and understand how long it actually takes you to do this. So we've got templates here. You take the template, you customize it, and you put it out. And you obviously check it with your legal department and you put it out to your business. So that's the practitioner offering up until this point, and a practitioner membership comes with 2 affiliates. Professional members basically have access to the full offering, which comes with 6 certification exams, the weekly webinars that I've talked about where the changes are being implemented. We've got transformational webinars, and we've got transactional webinars. Transactional webinars are how do you actually score more points on your scorecard. Transformational webinars are basically how you start moving the needle for change and transformation in the South African economy. And that's hosted by expert speakers. So you're always being exposed to best practice without leaving the comfort of your office. As a professional member, when you sign up, you'll get access to the scorecard and you'll get access to the B-Smart software where you're able to actually do monthly reviews with us based on the data that you've captured into the system. So we're able to help you track towards your annual score and help you identify focus areas and actually show you where your progress is, and you're able to have an interactive discussion with somebody outside of your business. We don't performance manage you, you've got to do that, but you're able to actually use us as a sounding board again, and you're able to track your progress. And then we've got the quarterly customer competitor analysis where you give us a list of your top 10 customers and suppliers. And what we actually do for you is we peg their BEE levels. So it's no use your company working towards a level 4 when your customers are actually at a level 1 already. Your customers are actually non-compliant and your suppliers are actually at a level 1. So what it means is that you're at a level 4, your suppliers are already winning over that business over you in the sense by virtue of their higher BEE rating that they have. So you're able to understand your landscape in which you're operating in with the customer competitor analysis. Equally so, your customers, when they're non-compliant, they'll put more pressure on you to be compliant from a BEE perspective. Okay, we've got various desks where we're able to manage your learnerships and your internships from an implementation perspective. So you are able to inquire more about that. You can actually chat to Andre about that post the call. Okay. So basically what we are is we are an ICT-based organization in summary that supports you through our website and our mobile application and telephonic services to actually help you become a more effective practitioner in this space and to be able to support you in your role in this transformation journey. Okay, let's move on to the order of business for today, which is our B-Smart software. I'm going to stop sharing the screen and I'm going to share my screen for the software. Okay, I trust that everybody can see the screen. So what you're able to see in front of you is the B-Smart system. So the BEE Chamber has partnered with a company called Talentech, and Talentech has been involved in the software development space and the BEE space for like the last 6 years. And they've taken the learnings of an older system that they've had and they've put it into this new system called B-Smart. And the platform is built on different technology. So what it enables you to do is actually have a great system with the learnings of a past system that actually becomes very user-friendly and very intuitive and easy for you to be able to generate a scorecard and keep track of your monthly score. So if you were going through the system on your own, the first screen here basically shows you how you create your scorecard, how you answer the questions. So you would appreciate it's not a 20-page manual. It's actually 1, 2, 3 steps here that actually tell you how to create your scorecard, how to answer the questions, and how to input your data. So basically from this, you're able to see how easy the system is to use. You don't have to copy your data into multiple spreadsheets and keep track of different things. There's just a few places you've got to go in order to actually update your information on the spreadsheet and input it into the system. So when we go into the systems, because I'm taking you through it today, we're going to just go into the creating our scorecards, how the dashboards look, and how we input the data. So as a professional member, you are able to get access to the system at 100% discount, basically. And as a practitioner member, you would also be given the same. So as a professional member, you can create as many multiple scorecards as you want to. There's no limit in terms of the scorecards that you create, the scenarios that you have within your business. You can do as many as you want to. So it's easy to create a scorecard. You basically just go to here, you say add scorecard, you put in your name of your scorecard, you choose the type of business you're in, you choose your sector charter that you're going to be rated on, and you choose the size of the entity, and you click save, literally, and it creates your scorecard for you. So here it tells you the name of the scorecard, what sector it is in, what scorecard hierarchy it is in. So the system basically can keep a divisional scorecard for you, an entity scorecard, and a department scorecard. So you're able to actually create multiple scorecards on the system and link your scorecards together. It shows you what date the scorecard was created and when it was actually last modified. So you are able to actually go in and clone a scorecard. So what the cloning function on the system actually does is that it actually lets you take your previous scorecard, creates an exact copy of the scorecard, so you're able to do scenario planning and you're able to do like a what-if analysis. So a lot of the time you don't have to go and enter the data that you've already done. You can actually copy the data across, manipulate the data, especially if you're doing budgeting or you want to see what the effects of bringing a new supplier into your business and what effect they would have on your scorecard. So you literally copy out your old data, you clone the scorecard, you just say clone, you put in a new project name. In this case, you can actually say, ABC or XYZ Limited impact on scorecard, and you save it, and you're able to actually input the data and change the data around to actually see what the impact is going to be on your scorecard. Okay, the left-hand side is a navigation menu. We're now going to actually move into the scorecard that I've created for you, which is called ABC Chamber Limited. I've already entered dummy data into here. So in order to navigate the system, you would just click on the actual area that you want to enter into, and it gets into it. So the system is very user-friendly. It's very effective. It tells you what it's doing all the time. So if you're anything like me, I don't have a lot of patience, and it takes me a lot of, I click on things multiple times. The system tells me what it's doing, so I wait. You would have seen a little orange icon here, a little warning that says there are unanswered questions. So the system tells you all the time that what hasn't been done, so you know what information to actually input. So this is basically the dashboard for your BEE scorecard. And in this dashboard, it shows you the elements per the DTI codes, the weighting per the DTI codes, how much you've scored, what is your points you've scored from a scorecard perspective based on the data that you've inputted. And it also lets you put in a goal score. So in a lot of instances, companies might not have, they might have a target that they're working towards, like especially around skills development. You might not have 6%, you might have just only 4%. So based on 4%, you're able to put in a goal score here. And the same would apply to enterprise supply development. You might not be able to score the full points, so you might put in a goal score based on how much money you actually have to spend. So it lets you know when you've actually achieved your goal. So you know, okay, I can stop now because I've now achieved the goal score in terms of where I want us to be. So on the right-hand side here, you're able to actually see that it shows you the full weighting in terms of the scorecard and how your business is scoring. So in this particular instance, we have no score on preferential procurement. On enterprise and supply development, we're actually doing quite okay because we're scoring full points there. Actually doing really well because we're scoring full points. This indicator here just shows you how far you are in terms of achieving your full scorecard. So at this point in time, we are actually non-compliant. Our points are 20.82. We don't have any yes bonus points. Our total on the scorecard is 20.82. Our goal score is 56. But from a BE perspective, we actually are non-compliant. So the orange indicators here actually tell you that those are priority elements. And what it means in the priority elements, you get discounted a level if you don't meet that priority element. So the system's always telling you, well, even if you actually are non-compliant, even if you actually are at a level 7, you can be dropped to a level 8 purely for not meeting a priority element in the scorecard, which is actually oranged out here. Okay, and the system basically gives you everything that you need to manage your BE score from a yes perspective, from all the elements perspective, as well as a discounting perspective if you're not meeting the minimum element. So it's a very it's a very good system in the sense of showing you how you're performing as a business. We've also put in little indicators like with little triangles here that actually tell you, a lot of the times on a system you don't know what to do. So the little triangular icons here in the comments box that we put in actually tells you what data you need to capture into that particular element. So we've put it in here for yes, and it tells you how the yes points are calculated, what a discounted level actually means, what a yes enhancement level actually means. And if you still don't understand this, you're able to call us for telephonic support on this and saying, okay, I'm doing the yes program, but it's not giving me the points that I need. So we actually have a discussion with you around it, and we look at what the next steps are and what is it that you're actually doing incorrectly. So you're able to apply based on the advice and the support that we're able to give you. Is you're able to steer your business in the right direction without having to wait for a few months until you probably get to verification or somebody tells you that you're doing something wrong in order to change it. So it's a very quick turnaround time in terms of guiding you and helping you move your business in the correct direction. Okay, so before you go into the scorecard, before we go into preferential procurement, there are general questions that we need to answer in order to calculate the score. So we go from scorecard here, which is this icon, which is this tab. We go into questions, and it takes us into the questions that we need to answer in order to calculate the scorecard data. You've got to put in your measurement start date, your anticipated date of verification, your financial year end, your measurement period, your NPAT for the period, how many employees you have. This is for your calculation in terms of your skills development, what province you're based in. This is for your EAP. The sector in which you actually fall into. This is basically for calculation of the industry norm. And also, if you're registered for the YES initiative, you could check your score here. You could actually say, yes, I'm registered for the YES initiative. And if you are, this area becomes pinked out. So what it means is that if you're registered for the YES initiative, you've got to put in your NPAT in here. Okay? And once you've actually finished this, you click on save. So it says busy loading, which means that it's now calculating and it's checking to see the data you've inputted and what the impact's going to be on your score. So in this instance, information or general information we needed for the scorecard, so it hasn't had an effect on your scorecard. So you can see at this point in time, our points that we're scoring is 20.82 and preferential procurement is actually 0. So we're going to move into the elements, which is preferential procurement, supply development, and enterprise development. You can see we've actually split it up here. We haven't called it enterprise and supply development as it's called on the scorecard, because there are different individuals that actually manage these different areas. And preferential procurement has a lot more work associated with it in terms of keeping track of your suppliers and things. So you actually want to see how you're scoring on that. And supply and enterprise development is a little bit different in the sense you want to see how you're developing your suppliers and how you're developing businesses outside of your business. That's why we split up the elements. When they get calculated, the points add up to the same as per the DTI codes, which is the DTI scorecard that we're looking at here. Okay. So when we go in here, we actually move into preferential procurement. We can use this menu to navigate, or we can use the elements on the top, but it's easy to use this. So I'm just going to click on this and we're going to say navigate to preferential procurement. It loads the data. So for those of you that had to keep track of your total measured procurement spend and constantly enter the data into, you had to always calculate it and keep track of it. So you can keep track of your procurement spend on a spreadsheet, and you can go into the system and you're able to input it in. Before we go into the system, this is the preferential procurement scorecard. So pretty much like the BEE scorecard, it's broken up into the spend with all the items per the DTI codes. You spend with all suppliers, your QSEs, your EMEs, Black-owned suppliers, Black women-owned suppliers, your Black designated groups, and how much you're scoring. So the graphic is also the same as well. In this instance, we haven't scored any points here. So you don't have anything. But before you actually do anything on the scorecard, you've got to go in and put in your total measured procurement spend. So what we've done is we've made it really easy for you. We've created a data sheet where you're able to capture your procurement spend and keep track of your procurement spend, your total measured procurement spend. And you go into the system here, you say data sheet, you input your total measured procurement spend into the system. You can see, okay, I'm going to delete it for the purposes of our exercise and show you how easy it is to upload it. You look for your spreadsheet, you browse where you've saved it, you double click on the item and the spreadsheet, and it actually inputs your TMPS for you into the system. Okay, so it's easy to be able to keep track of your total measured procurement spend. You click save, and now you're good to go. So now we're good to go in and actually work out our and look at how we're performing as a business from a procurement perspective, and how we actually are purchasing from Black-owned businesses and Black-owned suppliers and women-owned companies. So each time I told you the system is quite intuitive. It tells you what it's doing. So it says success, it saved this record. So we're going to go back in and we're going to now capture our, we're going to go back into the element and we're going to actually now put in our local supplier spend. So I'll use the top menu to navigate. I'm going to go back into data sheets again. And now I'm going to actually put in all my local supplier spend. Okay. If you want to, if you really want to be punished, you can go in and you can put in your suppliers one by one. If you can put in your supplier number, you can put in the supplier name, you can put in the VAT number, you can put in the company registration number, the annual spend, their BEE level, whether they're an EME or a QSE, or whether they're Black-owned, their percentage status, whether they're a first-time supplier, whether they have a 3-year contract, if they're a designated group, whether they have Black voting rights, and so forth, and the expiry date of their certificate. You can go and do that with all 3,000 of your suppliers, one line at a time, okay? We don't have enough time on the call, so I'm going to actually use my spreadsheet. And so what we've done is we kept track of all the suppliers on the spreadsheet. And we go in here, we're going to browse for the spreadsheet. You can download the input sheet from the system here, and you're able to enter your data. The input sheets are always kept current and up to date. You browse for the spreadsheet. In our case, we're going to look for the local inclusions. We're going to enter in all our supplier data into the system. Can you see it's brought in 138 pages of the data, 100, which actually means we've got like about almost 3,000 suppliers here. So we've got 138 pages of suppliers literally brought into the system within a space of not even 5 seconds. You click save. We click save. It says preparing the data. It says saving the data. It tells you the percentage complete, so you know what it's doing. It tells you now it's 67% complete. Now it's calculating our scores. It saved the records. So everything on the system is actually real time. Whenever you click save, it recalculates your scores for you. So we're going to navigate back to our element spreadsheet, which is preferential procurement. And we're able to see our score was 0 here. Now, it's actually put in our spend with all our suppliers, our spend with our QSE suppliers, our spend with our EME suppliers, our Black-owned suppliers, our Black women-owned suppliers. So very quickly, graphically, it tells you how your business is performing. So it says, okay, we're now short on spend with our QSE suppliers, and we're actually short on spend with our Black women-owned suppliers. So the next time somebody brings a supplier to you, or they want you to procure a new service, then you can actually say to them, okay, we're not really, we don't really have a lot of spend with QSE suppliers, and we don't really have a lot of spend with Black women-owned suppliers. So the company you would be looking for to procure this particular service from would be with a QSE, and they must be 51% Black owned. So that's the feedback that you give to your business based on where your business is currently performing and the level that you're at. So you're able to make very quick business decisions. You become a very strategic, effective business partner and a procurement department in this journey. And in the same instance, you're actually able to maximize your BEE points. So you're able to actually have a lot of wins in this journey by supporting the business with what they're looking for, but actually bringing on board the right suppliers. And obviously, so you're going to do your due diligence and your risk analysis the way you're not going to put the business under risk just because you want to bring in a certain group supplier. Okay. So once we've done that, we go back to our overall scorecard, and we're able to see on our overall scorecard perspective, our points were 20.28. We've now moved up on the scorecard. We're actually doing quite well just with procurement, not even ownership at this point in time. We've now gone up out of 27 points. We actually are now scoring 19.41. So we about 3 points or 2.5 points away from our actual goal score, which actually means that we're doing really well at this point in time. So if you go down to the scorecard, it actually tells you, yes, you are compliant at a BE level, at a level 8, with 40.23 points, but you actually are non-compliant because you're going to be discounted a level, okay, because of the priority areas not being met. So when you're making business decisions, you're able to actually go back to the rest of the pillar champions and actually say, guys, skills, procurement's done their bit. We actually need you on skills to actually become compliant to minimum scoring level, which is 8 out of the scorecard for skills development. Then you're able to have an ownership conversation with your business to actually say, okay, no matter what we do on the scorecard, if we don't do anything around ownership, we're still always going to be discounted. So the level of conversations that you have in your business become very strategically directed, and you're able to make correct business decisions by virtue of the data, understanding the data that you have at hand. And it's not just the data, it's understanding the direction in which your business is moving from becoming a transactional organization to transforming the landscape in South Africa when it comes to BEE. Okay, so guys, when we go back to the elements page on preferential procurement, the last thing I would like to show you here, once we've updated our scorecard, we can go in and actually analyze what is our spend. Okay? So here you're able to actually say, from a preferential procurement perspective, this is my TMPS. This is now my total supplier spend, including suppliers with no BEE status. It's 327 million. What is the difference? What is the percentage difference in terms of what is your TMPS? And what is the difference in your TMPS with suppliers that don't have a BEE scorecard? So in this case, it's 6.64%. So you know in your business where your focus is going to be. It's going to also be on getting the guys compliant and letting them have, enabling them to have scorecards. And then we're actually going to show them here, you're able to see your spend with all suppliers that have a BEE certificate, those of them that are QSEs, those of them that are EMEs, those of them that are actually Black-owned suppliers, Black women-owned suppliers, Black designated groups. So you're able to see all of that in terms of a summary perspective of